Have you ever walked into a room and felt your eyes inevitably drawn to someone who seems to glow with an extraordinary presence? Maybe you couldn't explain it, but you knew in that instant they weren't just charismatic. They were enveloped in an energy that felt almost otherworldly. It's not just confidence. It's not just a magnetic smile. What if I told you science and spirituality agree? This is the phenomenon of a true divine aura, and the secrets behind it are more mind-blowing than you think. Hey, you're watching the Growth Mindset Project. Before we dive into uncovering the astonishing truths behind a divine aura, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're always the first to catch new insights that can transform your life from the inside out. Let's go deeper into this mysterious force. Most people talk about charisma as something you can cultivate. Practice your speech, stand up straight, learn to read a room. But a divine aura is another level, a rare quality that goes beyond skill or performance. It's the reason some people walk into high-pressure situations, stand before intimidating figures, or endure unimaginable hardships, and yet radiate an unshakable calm. They aren't moved by praise or insult, success or failure. There's something profound within them, something stable and untouchable, almost as if they're plugged into a source the rest of us only glimpse. Research into charisma typically breaks it down into very digestible, observable chunks: confidence, warmth, presence. But hidden in the footnotes, barely acknowledged, is the idea that the deepest, most powerful aura has an aspect linked to the divine, to something greater than mere human charm. Historically, in places like France and Canada, scholars wrote more about religious and spiritual charisma than its secular flavors. Even in modern studies, divinity is a central theme in understanding what separates merely influential people from those whose actions ripple through centuries. Think about it. Major spiritual figures like Jesus and the Buddha, founders of movements that shaped civilization, were described as having something that defied analysis, a radiance or force that drew others irresistibly. Their teachings and presence had lingering power long after their lifetimes. But what is this divine aura and where does it come from? Let's start with something fundamental: human empathy. We're wired to respond emotionally to one another, picking up on subtle signals of confidence, fear, or uncertainty. Normally, our inner emotional dance is a negotiation. If I sense your nervousness, I might start to feel uneasy too. If you radiate determination, I might feel inspired. Social hierarchies depend on these signals, with people subconsciously deferring to top dogs, those who project strength or success. But a person with a divine aura doesn't play this emotional game. Instead, they break through it, exuding a kind of stability that's alien to the usual tug-of-war of egos. When you encounter someone with true divine aura, it's as if you're facing a being whose soul is forged from steel, a calm, immovable center that no amount of external chaos can ruffle. What's behind this? Is it just intense self-confidence? Not exactly. Historical accounts and spiritual writings suggest something stranger and harder won. Take the story of St. John of the Cross and his dark night of the soul. It's a tale of losing all the usual supports: reason, emotion, friendships, even life's pleasures, and being pushed to the absolute edge of despair. In that pit of emptiness, some rare individuals discover a light that isn't theirs, a connection to something deeper, what many would call the divine, the spark within that survives even the worst hardships. It's almost like, in the very act of losing everything, something survives, something indestructible emerges and makes its home at the core of their being. From then on, they become an anchor in the storm for everyone around them. If you're finding this fascinating, take a second to like this video and drop a comment below. Have you ever met someone with this sort of energy? What did it feel like? Now, some of history's most commanding figures, whether leaders like Nelson Mandela, spiritual teachers in prison, or even modern survivors of the harshest adversity, have reported this sort of transformation. After enduring events that should have shattered them, they came back changed, radiating calm and strength that can't be feigned. This metamorphosis leaves its mark not through fame or wealth, but through a fierce stability, a divine aura that calls out to all who sense it. Imagine this. Most of us buffer the bad stuff, loss, rejection, despair, by chasing pleasure, validation, or distraction. But individuals with true aura reach a point where these compensations don't work. When the darkness is absolute and everything has failed, they find a new connection within, something deeper than thoughts or emotions, some primal wellspring that seems to whisper, "You will endure." One survivor put it perfectly. After repeated suicide attempts, he realized that even as everything else failed, something in him still wanted to live. That tiny, indestructible spark was not of intellect, not of emotion. It was something else entirely. That's the seed of a divine aura. What's really intriguing is how this inner transformation confuses the empathy circuits of everyone around them. Normally, we read each other's moods, react to status symbols, recoil from neediness or ickiness. But people with divine aura don't participate in these scripts. Their presence exudes ick resistance. They don't look down on anyone, don't crave VIP treatment, don't reject people just because society deems them unworthy. From this flows an immense, almost supernatural compassion. They see beyond the surface ick to the sacred hidden spark in everyone, like a rough diamond beneath the muck. This isn't just a metaphor, it's the lived reality of those who have come through the fire and found peace on the other side. They know from experience that worth isn't about acclaim or appearances. It's about that inner spark, the divine within. If you're still with us at the halfway mark, make sure you've subscribed, liked, and commented. Your feedback helps us grow this community of seekers and thinkers. Let's dig even deeper. Here's an unexpected twist. Not everyone who touches the divine develops humility or wisdom. In fact, some become cult leaders, individuals who radiate such rare stability and power that others flock to them instinctively, longing to heal their own wounds by proximity. But if the individual's ego remains unexamined, if their psychological hurts are unhealed, their divine aura can become corrupted, fueling manipulative, even destructive dynamics. The divine spark glows, but it's shrouded in ego, paranoia, and a hunger for power. That too is part of this secret history, the double-edged nature of a divine aura. Yet for those who emerge transformed and compassionate, life looks profoundly different. Their needs and fears shift. The pursuit of status or validation loses its grip. The patterns and cravings that drive most of us, the endless chase for more good, less bad, become less important. Instead, they rest in a kind of being, without striving. The secret, perhaps, is letting go of the ego's hunger for greatness and simply living as authentically as possible. Paradoxically, the truest auras belong to those who no longer seek them. Crucially, this divine aura cannot be forced or chased through ambition. It's not about hitting rock bottom on purpose or seeking out pain to accelerate your growth. Some people, especially those battling deep depression, may imagine there's a breaking point after which everything's fixed. But the pathway to a divine aura doesn't come from destruction for its own sake. If it's in your destiny, it will happen to you, usually in its own unpredictable way. Thank you for staying with us on the Growth Mindset Project as we unpack the hidden, transformative secrets of a divine aura. If you want to keep exploring how mind, spirit, and science intersect, go ahead and dive into our other videos right here. And don't forget, hit that bell so you never miss what's next.